Chapter 60. Are you sure she wants him back, says Kitty. I nod, emphatically. She pretends everything's okay, but it's not, and it won't be, and it's all my fault. We unload toilet rolls and industrial strength bread, as if I hadn't said anything. Then enormous sacks of pasta and toilet fresheners. Why won't anyone listen to me? Mum needs Chris, and Chris needs Mum, and I need them both. I need to put it right, Kitty. Only when everything is out of the car and in the storeroom, when my heart's about to fall off my sleeve into a pail of potatoes, does Kitty respond. If all this goes pear-shaped. Absolutely, I say, it'll all be my fault, end to end. I put on my most earnest face, the eyes that speak volumes. You have to help me find him. For the longest moment she considers me, and Grace watches us both. Finally she nods and grabs her car keys. You know where he is? Might do. I grin, a big, self-satisfied, just swallowed an elephant and it tasted good grin. Grace is out the door after us, but Kitty's having none of it. You stay here, catch up on some study. No way, says Grace. We clamber into Kitty's dilapidated Ford. I've never been so glad of a rattly car. Out of town, Sedgwick, deep countryside, boreens, bog roads and bunky donkeys, leaning on walls as if they were having their ears manicured by tiny beetles. The car hurtles along with both of us in the back, feeling just a little bit carsick. I never meant, said Grace, all that stuff to hurt you. Jeremy is not so bad, I say, when you get to know him, she grunts. Okay, some of it you were right about, sort of. I'm working on him. He'll be okay, but he's not Chris. So, your dad, has he gone again? Yeah, back to Dublin. But we're going to email and stuff, get to know each other better. Slowly. Sounds good, she says. I nod and stare out the window at hedgerows made of gorse. It was a dream I had. That's all. I know, says Grace. They're bummers, those dreams. We end up in the middle of nowhere. Worse than nowhere. This is scenery, the sort of parents point out to kids on a sunny day in Connemara when you'd rather be home watching very grey paint very slowly dry. The speed sign still says 80 kilometres an hour, but there's grass growing down the middle of the road, and the only way two cars could pass would be if one of them levitated. Maybe we took a wrong turn. Trust me, says Kitty. Chris said he wanted somewhere quiet to pull his head together, and my friend needed work done. There. How could we miss it? See, Kitty neglected to mention which friend had helped her out. Turns out he's the clown that Grace disliked intensely. Apparently children's entertainers have breakdowns all the time and they come here to rest and recover. The house, is it actually a house, has whitewashed walls covered with giant colourful spots, with a red circle covering the door, like a nose. Grace goes pale to the gills. Tell me this isn't the guy who turned my breakfast into a petting zoo. He became a friend, says her mum with a shrug. Grace is not impressed and stays in the car. Chris, she needs you. He's up on the roof fixing a gutter and is so not listening to me. What is it about grown-ups that makes them so bloody stubborn? Chris! Nothing. Nada. Zilch. Maybe he's gone deaf in his old age, too far from the sea to hear normal conversation. Maybe he's morphed into a mute clown. This house could do that. A flock of crows spin upwards from a nearby field, complaining loudly. You're wasting your time. Save your breath. Feck off home. I pretend to hear nothing. A tiny bird lands nearby and leaves me a feather. There's a shimmer almost of gold. Is this my consolation prize? No, I'm not giving up. Chris, please. He finally speaks through a mouthful of roofing nails. She should have thought of that before taking up with that lech. Don't talk about my dad like that. See, nothing changes. The crow lands on a derelict cottage in the next field and settled their pecking order quickly. I swallow my pride. And Mum's. It doesn't taste good, but it has to be done. Look, Mum made a mistake. We both did. He's my father, so I can't talk about him like that, but not yet. But he's not my dad. I can't even look at him, realising something I've never realised before. If anyone's been my dad, it's been you. I look up then to see if my words have had any effect. But the roof is empty. Well, that's it. I tried. I can't believe you could be so stubborn and pig-headed and mule-eared. I'm officially off Men for Life. They don't make sense. They don't know how to listen, let alone actually hear what you say. I thought you didn't care anymore. And he's there, right behind me, wiping his eyes and his hands on his jeans, same as ever. I fling myself into his arms, into the warmest, bestest hug. Then I pull back, because I'm a teenager and we're cool. We're not meant to be into hugs and stuff. The grin I've suddenly acquired runs from ear to ear and is going nowhere. It was Mum's cobwebs. They kind of blurred things, I say, for both of us, that and Brad Pitt. You do know he's her ideal man. To be continued.